Hello and welcome to round 2 of the 2023 Pass Me Fast Ultimate Karting Championship. We're 1 round down and 5 to go in what promises to be another great season of top-level motorsport. And it was only just 4 weeks ago that we kicked things off at Wilton Mill for round 1. And oh boy, did the sparks fly there.
Comes back at him. They go side by side, and look at Copy Patterson. Patterson's got the boat. Patterson steals the win on the final lap. Lucas Blatford wins at Wilton Mill. Yeah, no, it's not. It's the 259. It's Stephen Letts, Ellingham Speed. Freddie Ingram wins at Wilton Mill. Hobson, he gets into the lead as the rest feel our contact. Kart's going off there at the first turn, but Jacob Ashcroft. Domination. Big launch up the inside from Majewski, but he runs wide and Thomas Hill is going to get past him and Luca Holmes-Ballack. Oh, and the front Nassau comes skating up in front of Ed Spain's face. Ryan White is going to hang on to it in second, but Theo Bradshaw is going to take the checkered flag.
Well, after all that excitement of Wilton Mill, we're here at Larkhall, just outside of Glasgow, and a circuit that saw a £2.5 million investment in 2019, making it Scotland's premier karting venue. With 12 turns and over 1,100 metres of fresh tarmac to race on, it's going to be awesome. Let's take a look at some of the key overtaking opportunities. So off the start line then, you'll have kept it nice and clean through the left-handers, just doing your best to kind of maintain your line. Probably not going to get much in the way of overtakes done through there, but you're going to find yourself here at the start of the boot section. And then it is going to be a battle of wits and wills and who's going to be brave enough on the brakes to maybe run a bit deep here and try and get the turn done early. But if you go a bit too deep into the boot, then your exit is going to be wrong and it's going to set you up wrong as you want to get the toe down and get your speed up all the way on that big long back straight section there. But get it right through here, you might get an overtake done. And also, if you do get it right, you'll have plenty of speed for that big long straight, taking you all the way up to the far side of the circuit over there. After the boot section and that big, long, fastest part of the circuit, you're going to find yourself here at the end of the straight. And it's here where, once again, a battle of bravery on the brakes could see you nicking a place or two. You can clip the inside of the apex here and use plenty of runoff. But if you get it right here, before you head on into the infield, well, there's definitely a place or two to be grabbed right here. On this infield section here is another key overtaking opportunity. There's a crest that rises up through here and it dips down then towards the hairpin. Once again, it's going to be a battle of bravery on the brakes, because if you get it right down at the hairpin, well, there's definitely a place or two to be grabbed just down there. Well, how's this for a cool feature at a kart track? This 180 turn on the infield here is fully banked, and this is all about setting yourself up for the final couple of corners where hopefully, if you haven't done the business yet, you might just grab a place or two before you make it to the line. And at the end of the lap, you're going to find yourself here. You come through a complex of S's, and then this is the final corner. If you haven't made your overtake stick earlier in the lap, then you've got to get it done here, because when you come around this final corner, it's foot flat to the floor and aim for the finish line. So once again, we're starting with Honda Cadets, which last time out delivered an incredible race that really did go down to the wire. In the end though, Theo Bradshaw took the win from Ryan White and then Bella Fairclough, with Ashley Haase in 4th.
My name is Bella Fairclough, I am number 63 and I am a zip drive. At Wilton Mill final, I was leading for a very long time. I had a really big gout. Unfortunately, towards the end, I let it all go, let Ryan and Theo go past, but hopefully this weekend I can do much better and hold on for the lead for the whole race.
We didn't think we were going to catch up to Bella Fairclough, so we had to start thinking tactics. So me and Theo Bradshaw started pushing, and by the last few laps of the race, we managed to catch up to Bella Fairclough. Once we got up to her, then it was just a squabble for the rest of the race.
As soon as I got into the lead, Bella helped me push away from Ryan, and Ryan soon caught up at the end of the last lap. Well, under the zip kart warning, I think it's a really good environment. Like, everyone's helping out, especially El, my mechanic. He's really nice, and all my teammates on and off track are really nice. I mean, obviously towards the last few laps, there's no rules, you can just go for it. But I think we've got to respect each other in the middle of the race. Yeah, it'll be really good. As a girl in racing, obviously there isn't much of us, but it's really good to see when there's a girl up at top. It just shows, like, it doesn't matter who you are, you can still be strong and you can still win things.
So I've raced at Larkhall in UKC 2021 and the Braves Champ 2022, and so I've learned that you have to be really slow in so you can get a fast exit. Well, Larkhall, I have raced here before, in the Scottish S Plate, I think it was, and in that I came second. And yeah, the track's really good, and you can. It's a really good track for passing because you can pass anywhere. Every single corner is an opportunity. You really have to have some strength chucking the cart round corners, especially that first hairpin. I think that's one of the tightest corners like I've ever seen on a track, and you really have to thrust the cart round.
So I've never raced a Larkhall before, but I've watched like all UKC from 2021 and the British from 2022, and I really quite like the circuit. It's really nice, especially in the wet and dry, and I'm learning it, and it's getting really good.
I raced at Larkhall before, and it's quite a hard track, but I feel like I'll get the hang of it by the end of the day. So coming to the end of this weekend, I'll probably get a podium or the win if I'm lucky.
Well, I would be happy with top 3, to be honest. I'm just aiming for championship points.
Well, let's see how all the young Honda Cadet drivers do in this one as we go and join your race commentator, Jake Sanson.
Honda Cadet Super Final at Larkhall, round 2 of UKC. Away we go, and it's a great start from our pole sitter. No problem at all for Ryan White. Ollie Thompson is going to tag in behind them as they work their way through. It's going to be an intriguing battle as the contenders shaping up for a fantastic battle out on the course. Working their way through on the far side. It's all good for White and Thompson. Branscombe up to 3rd position after a good start. Bradshaw trying to work his way forward as well. So Theo Bradshaw making some good manoeuvres there on the opening lap. Bella Fairclough tucks in behind Jacob Jack as they head up towards the sweeping right-hander. And Branscombe just gets a little bit too close to the back bumper of Thompson. Just a little bit of paint traded. So a very spirited start to this race at the moment, but up front it's still Ryan White versus Ollie Thompson. So 9.5 on the clock. Ryan White under some pressure from Ollie Thompson. Branscombe in 3rd from Jacob Jack. And up to 5th has come Thomas Jackson ahead of Bella Fairclough. Fastest lap of the race comes from Jackson, who tries to make his bid on the inside of Jacob Jack. That was very close indeed as they almost tagged into each other. Jacob Jack again trying to get defensive as up on the inside Thomas Jackson is going to go for the move on Jacob Jack and makes the overtaking move up at a 4th position. So a very solid run, sturdy run so far, and now Bella Fairclough is going to get her move on Jacob Jack. She gets through and up into 5th position. Jack on the rebound, tries to get back through. There's not a lot of room for the two of them to run side by side, but they will. And Bella Fairclough will hold the position on the inside line. Nicely done there from Fairclough. Jacob Jack has to give best. So through they come. Fairclough now in P5 again, behind Thomas Jackson. But here comes Jacob Jack to try again on Fairclough. Fairclough resists and comes back in on the exit. And that is perfect from Bella Fairclough. Leaves enough space for Jacob Jack to try and counter-attack. But Jacob Jack is going to get alongside Fairclough. Fairclough kicking up the curb. And that's going to be close between the two of them. Fairclough gets a little bit of a mud puddle there. And up on the inside will come the 17 of Ashley Harzay. Theo Bradshaw trying to squeeze through, but that's not going to happen. Bella Fairclough will now get back on terms with Ashley Harzay as they go back up the straight again. Meanwhile, White and Thompson are still nose to tail ahead of Branscombe and Jackson. Here comes Ashley Harzay to try and dive up the inside of Jacob Jack as Theo Bradshaw passes Bella Fairclough. And then it is going to be Smith, Spain and Amaya Thompson. Up on the inside, that's going to need to be a brave move to get past Bella Fairclough into turn 1 from Blair Smith. But Blair Smith has to give best for the time being, and now he's going to have pressure from Ed Spain. But Ryan White and Ollie Thompson still nose to tail in the battle for the victory up front. Thompson is not letting Ryan White get away. So they come off the turn again, and it's all looking neat and tidy for Ryan White in the lead. Branscombe is only a second and a half back from the leader, so things can still change. There's plenty of time for this race to change hands as Jacob Jack starts to get into the blind zones of Thomas Jackson. So Ryan White holds the lead. Half a second now he has pulled out on Ollie Thompson at a critical part of the race. He's managed to give himself a tiny bit of distance. So it's certainly looking pretty neat and tidy as the field continues to give each other a nice spread of distance. But there is Jacob Jack trying to pull out at the last minute to get the move on Thomas Jackson. Into 4th position goes Jacob Jack. Nice move then from Jacob Jack. That puts him into P4. and now he's going to have pressure again from Thomas Jackson back in the hairpin one more time. But Jacob Jack almost kisses the back bumper of Ralph Branscom's car. So Ralphie Branscombe was very lucky to hold that third position at that point. Certainly a bit of a tricky one, as the contenders will still give us plenty of suspense out there in the Honda GX200 final. The Honda Cadets, still plenty of racing. 4 minutes on the clock. White has extended out to 7/10 of a second in front of Thompson, but Jacob Jack is getting closer to Ralphie Branscombe all the time. So this is definitely going to be an interesting one as the race battles finalise for third position. Here comes Jacob Jack, reading in the opportunity for Ralphie Branscombe, and into third position goes Jacob Jack in the hairpin. Lovely overtake. And now he's going to be joined potentially by Thomas Jackson and Ashley Haase, who both want their say in this final spot on the podium. So this is definitely going to be really intriguing to see how it continues on. So the battles play on. Bit of a slide there from Jacob Jack, hanging on in front of Ralphie Branscombe. Branscombe slides through the final hairpin, and this is the chance for Thomas Jackson now. So through they continue. Still a very close quarters battle as hopping and skipping over the curbs. Looks like Jacob Jackson's going to be under some pressure. Branscombe's going to try for it, but round the outside, Thomas Jackson picks up the place on Ralphie Branscombe. Lovely from Thomas Jackson. Down to the braking zone, he had plenty of momentum, and he was able to carry it straight past Branscombe. Now we've got Jack, Jackson, and Branscombe in the hunt for third position. Branscombe will try again on Thomas Jackson. Not going to happen on the right-hander. He's now going to have to attack again as they come up to the left, but I think Thomas Jackson has got his eyes firmly fixed on the final step of the podium. Certainly for the moment, he has a chance here on Jacob Jack, but Ashley Haase wants to make his own bid on Ralphie Branscombe. So Branscombe versus Haase, fifth position. Branscombe's got to be careful here, and he'll need to time this to perfection on the exit of the apexes, because he'll know that Ashley Haase is going to make a bid to get through with the first available chance. Can Haase get there? No. Branscombe holds on to fifth place. Good defense from Branscombe under the circumstances. Was never going to be easy to hold him off. So that was really well read. And now Ashley Haase will try the move into the final hairpin. Branscombe's going to leave him enough space to play with, but he'll hold it round the outside. Ralphie Branscombe still maintains fifth position with some great racecraft. Looks to me as though second place might be up for grabs here. Ollie Thompson is slowly losing deficit to Jacob Jack and Thomas Jackson. They're both starting to gain a little bit of ground now here. So that'll definitely make things more interesting for Thomas Jackson as he starts to sense that he might get a shot on Jacob Jack. And Jacob Jack thinks he's got a chance on Ollie Thompson to go for second place, but he runs wide. Can't afford to do that too many more times before the end. You're running out of seconds of racing. Jacob Jack, all over the back of Ollie Thompson, has been able to keep the kart on the straight and narrow despite running off the road. There's a little bit more time still to find. And Jacob Jack is absolutely resolute that he can find it. So you've got to be very careful about how you play your cards. Down to the braking zone. Still looking neat and tidy as into the last lap will go Ryan White. He just crosses the line as the time ticks down to 0. So now it's the final lap of the super final in Honda GX200. And suddenly Jacob Jack senses that he might be able to steal second place away from Ollie Thompson. And he's there on the inside of the final lap. Perfectly timed from Jacob Jack. Manages to get the super move into second place, but Ollie Thompson isn't done yet. Thompson will try and swing it from round the outside. He carries the speed. Can he go the long way round? Not quite, but he'll get the switcheroo off the turn. And Thompson's going to have more momentum than Jacob Jack. And he storms back through. But Jacob Jack back on the inside. Thompson will now try and get him on the switcheroo. He's got a faster line off the turn. Jack is trying to defend. Here comes Thompson again. Into the hairpin. Ollie Thompson hasn't given up on this. Jacob Jack may have just done it though. It's going to be a victory for Ryan White up front. But for Jacob Jack in second, he might just hang on to this as they come out of the final turn. It's victory in Larkhall for Ryan White. He wins the final in brilliant style from Jacob Jack and Ollie Thompson. What a great start here at Larkhall to the finals as Ryan White cleans up in front of Jacob Jack. Excellent racing. Ollie Thompson in third from Thomas Jackson, Ralphie Branscombe and Ashley Haase. Theo Bradshaw in 7th place in front of Ed Spain and Bella Fairclough.
Well, listen, Ryan, we'll give you a moment to get your helmet off. What a weekend for you. The Scottish flag on your helmet there. Married with the Union Jack. Mate, what a great weekend. Won just about everything. You won the super final. You must be thrilled.
Yeah, I'm really, yeah. It makes up for the last.
It does make up for last time, doesn't it? Really well done to you. You've had a great weekend, though. You've won every heat, second in that pre-final, and then now first in the super final.
Yeah.
Tell us about the conditions, though. Tricky out there in this wet weather?
Yeah, it was really tricky. You had to really chuck the cart around to get a fast lap time in, and well, in the end, I chucked the cart around enough.
Listen, sir, well done. A big smile on your face, which is lovely to see. You just gave the crowd a real thrill there. That battle between yourself and Jacob, you were leading him for most of the race, and then he just nicked you in the closing stages, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. It was really tough, but still, second would have been better, but I mean, a podium's a podium.
A podium's a podium. I love your philosophical approach. And I tell you what, young man, you did brilliantly holding him off for all those laps. It's not a good position to be in, is it? When you know someone's behind you and they're chasing you, that's nerve-wracking, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, because I saw he was closing in, so I don't know.
Listen, I love your philosophical approach. You've got a big smiley face. That's what kart racing is all about. Who would you like to thank?
GXT for the engines, Lenny for the setup, Connor for the driver coaching, my mum, my dad, and that's it.
Well, next out on track, it's the turn of Mini Inter, which uses that Micromax engine on the 950mm chassis. Last time out, it was Jacob Ashcroft, who was untouchable, leading every lap of the final on his way to taking the win. Behind him, though, that's where all the battles were going on, and it was Synergy teammates Charlie Wolfett and Luca Holmes-Ballack, who weren't afraid to push each other hard to take second and third. Let's see what happens this time, then, as we go and join your race commentator, Jake Stanton.
Off the final turn, and we'll go racing again here at Larkhall. Cole Denham versus Jacob Ashcroft off the grid. Looks like there's a problem in the middle of the field for the 15, I think that was. Having a problem off the start. No, there was certainly a mechanical problem from the first 3 rows of the grid. So a big disaster for somebody, but certainly the race battle continues as they come through. Everybody trying to knit their way forward on the first couple of corners of the race. Jacob Ashcroft struggling with Oliver Majewski. Majewski is forced wide there. And the momentum was certainly not with the drivers as they came through on that one. But a fascinating start to proceedings, and certainly for Cole Denham, a really intriguing start to proceedings. I think the driver who was caught out was actually Noah Barham. Noah Barham was able to move forward. So I think it could be Oliver Meek who was in trouble off the start. So Oliver Meek barely getting away at all and has now dropped a long way down the field. So Oliver Meek, the one with mechanical problems there. I hope he's been able to keep going. But certainly up in front, there's no major changes other than the absence of Oliver Meek. There is the 15 of Blair Smith trying to work his way forward, upper position again. So still they will try to make some good moves around the course. But a great performance so far as Cole Denham runs in the lead of this race from Charlie Wolfett, Jacob Ashcroft, Blair Smith and Noah Barham. A very exciting and competitive start to this race here at Larkhall for the Mini Inter final. Onto the back straight we go. Cole Denham just checking over his shoulder to see where Wolfett is in relation to himself. And here comes Ashcroft making his bid at the inside. Jacob Ashcroft into second position. A good run from the 22. So Ashcroft into second. And we look a little further back as I think we saw the 51 of Stanley Clark trying to get away from Charlie Very and Thomas Hill. Tap of the helmet from Jacob Ashcroft to his rival Charlie Wolfett. Come on, let's work together. Stop racing me. Let's go get after the guys in front. And with 10 minutes still to go, that is probably some fairly useful advice, but there is some warnings for contact, and it's Blair Smith and Charlie Wolfett. Well, that is a very controversial start to the race for Wolfett and Smith, as they are currently running in 3rd and 4th positions, but they do not have too many more chances to play with here. There is Jacob Ashcroft out in front of Charlie Wolfett, having a very solid race of it at the moment as Cole Denham checks over his shoulder. Jacob Ashcroft still in front of Wolfett, Smith, Barham, Majewski. Then it is the 51 of Stanley Clark ahead of Charlie Very, Dan Minto and Jaden Sherwood. So now we're going to have a really solid effort from Charlie Wolfett in 3rd position, but we're watching the duel for 5th place between Majewski and Clark as they continue to squabble away.
So Majewski and Clark, 5th and 6th. Then Very, Minto, Sherwood, Smith, Hines, Hill and Holmes Balak in 13th. The back end starting to kick out a little bit again. The rain is still trying to make up its mind whether it's going to be a wet day at the office or a bit of a murky day at the office, really. Majewski still hanging on in 5th place in front of Clark as we go wheel to wheel. That is Blair Smith trying to get his run on Jaden Sherwood. But he's dueling away at the moment, having got past Sherwood. Now he's having a go at Minto. And Blair Smith gets the move there on Dan Minto. Is that Sherwood going to get through as well? It's going to need to be a committed overtake to finish it off. That's actually Finley Hines. So Dan Minto has lost ground to Sherwood and is now having a duel with Finley Hines. So there is Sherwood having got past. Smith has got past. And now Minto trying to hold off from Hines and Holmes Balak, who has now dealt with and overtaken Thomas Hill. And so they will continue to give us plenty of excitement out there on the course. And still the drivers battle on. Not going to be easy to decide who is going to get the run of this. Here comes the opportunity, the manoeuvre. This is the battle. Further back as up the inside. A nice little overtake in the midfield as we watch Levi McCarty go with Elliot Surtees and Mason Webster. More overtaking in the midfield at the moment. So let's see how Levi McCarty is going to be able to close for the overtaking move here on Elliot Surtees. Trying to skate his way forward and try and take the move into the hairpin. So some good racing in the midfield. It's not just at the front where the action is in this category. And there's the dive at the inside as Levi McCarty gets the run on Elliot Surtees and overtakes. As meanwhile, on the other side of the circuit, Jacob Ashcroft is getting back into view. And there's the move. Luca Holmes Balak makes the bid on Dan Minto. So the 28 gets past the 228. And Luca Holmes Balak now works his way up into the top 10 for the first time in this final. Still has a lot of time to make up, obviously, but certainly has another opportunity to try and make it up. And now it looks as though Dan Minto's going to have more pressure from Finley Hines. So Luca Holmes Balak is definitely making his thoughts felt here. But it's Ashcroft, Woolfit, Denham, Barham, Majewski, and then it's Stanley Clark from Very, Sherwood, and Blair Smith ahead of Luca Holmes Balak and Dan Minto. But the big question I want to ask myself now is how many other drivers are going to make the chance to close up on the Ashcroft, Woolfits, Denhams and Barhams of this world as we watch Charlie King battling away with Thomas Hill. Thomas Hill making a late bid. They run side by side and neither driver is prepared to give way. So for the moment it is King that manages to get through and hold position. Charlie King hanging on in front of Thomas Hill. So still they duel away. But Ashcroft holds a 2.2 second advantage over Charlie Woolfit now. Denham is there in third, then Barham, Majewski, Clark, Very, Sherwood, Smith and Luca Holmes Balak in 10th position from Minto and Hines. Just waiting to see who is going to make the next decent challenge. Finley Hines makes the bid there on Minto. Minto went a little bit deep into the hairpin. Now he was able to utilise the lack of rubber on the inside line there to get the kart coaxed in round the outside of the banking and make the bid to hold into the position. So that worked out quite well for Dan Minto. He holds on to 11th, but they are hemorrhaging time to the top 10 in front. There's a warning flag going out for the 66. That is Thomas Hill for his antics on one of the previous laps. You can see there a nice little duel as up the inside. The 33 makes the bid. That's Sherwood on Very. And Jay Sherwood manages to work his work through up into position. So Jaden Sherwood gets into 7th place past Charlie Very as Luca Holmes Balak, I think, now all over the back of Blair Smith as they duel away for 9th position further back. Interesting to see if Luca Holmes Balak can make the bid then to get into 9th position. Oh, a bit of a slide from Blair Smith, and that's enough for Luca Holmes Balak round the outside. He takes the place instead. And now Luca Holmes Balak feels he's got a run on Charlie Very. So he's going to be trying to make his overtaking move felt. Some really impressive comeback driving here from Luca Holmes Balak, who had a nightmare yesterday and is really getting himself back into the mix. Now he's hunting down the 73 of Charlie Very and he gets through. Oh, nicely done from Luca Holmes Balak. That was really calm, really collected. And it's a very solid effort as the contenders continue to make a good run of it. And still the drivers battle on. But it really is going to be a solid performance from the contenders here. And still, the race battle victory The race battle for the victory has been very tight indeed. But Ashcroft should be able to hold on to this in front of Charlie Wolfett. Chris, looks like a really tough one here for Charlie Wolfett. Hanging on to second, but about to fall into the clutches of Cole Denham. So we are looking a bit further back in the pack now, as there is Blair Smith battling to try and work his way forward. Oh, that was a very close run. But out in front, it is this man, Jacob Ashcroft, who is looking very neat and tidy in the lead of this race. No major concerns for him at the moment, as he certainly sets out on his stride to finish the job off in the mini inter category. It's been a perfectly superb race from his point of view. He hasn't really had to break a sweat at any point through the course of this final. Once he got into the lead, everything about this race from that point on has just been about smooth running and just keeping it nice and tidy. He hasn't really had to worry too much about the issues, as Jacob Ashcroft brings the Dan Holland Racing Lando Norris chassis onto the back straight. And now we have 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That is time. So this is the penultimate lap of the race now. We know that the final is going to run to a distance of 13 laps. We're on the 12th at the moment, and the lap after this one is going to be the final lap of the race. A solid and superb run for Jacob Ashcroft. Charlie Wolfett is going to upset the Dan Holland Racing trio here with second place on the Synergy, and a very deserving result that is for Charlie Wolfett. He's worked very hard all weekend long, so it's good to see him fight himself back into contention again. So Jacob Ashcroft running a very solid race up front, but Charlie Wolfett is not safe in second yet. Cole Denham is definitely catching up with him. And as the battles rage going into the final lap, Cole Denham wants to steal second away from Charlie Wolfett. They slide through the first couple of corners. Wolfett knows that Denham's going to be there, so now he's going to have to go super defensive to keep Cole Denham at bay. Wolfett will do the best he can to keep Denham behind him. Denham's got a tighter line off the hairpin. Wolfett knows that. There's Ashcroft in the lead, looking good for the win. But this is now where we're going to get to see what Cole Denham can do as he looks for a move around the outside. Dives for the inside line! And they drift off the road! They both drift off the road, and Charlie Wolfett recovers in third position. Cole Denham comes through, up the inside again. Wolfett snatches second place back. What a comeback from Charlie Wolfett. Denham's now going to come straight back at him. Up to the hairpin. Wolfett and Denham are now side by side for second place on the back straight. Wolfett is determined not to let Denham get through, but Denham gets through regardless. One final corner. Ashcroft is going to get the win, but who's going to get second? Ashcroft takes the victory. It's going to be close, and it will be Wolfett. Oh my goodness! Charlie Wolfett round the outside of Cole Denham. I have never seen a fight back like it. My goodness me!
Well done to you, young man. Another race, another win. First place at Wilton, first place here at Larkhall. You must be absolutely thrilled.
I'm really happy.
Yeah, tell us about that race. You were, running, I think, second or third up till about lap 4, but it was on lap 4 that you got the overtake done, and then after that you were out in front.
Well, I had a really bad start because I got hung out on the outside and I couldn't get in. I dropped down to about 6th. I did 2 people on the first lap.
After that, you were
and then
out
I had
in
my
front.
head down to try and catch Cole. I had a really bad
Yeah, and once you did get yourself up near Cole, then the battle was on, wasn't it? And once again as well, Charlie Wolfett was just behind you on that one. Looks like you guys in Mini Inter, it's going to be quite a battle this season.
Yeah, I think we're going to have a good battle this season. So, yeah, looking forward to it.
Charlie, skidding your way into scrutineering here. Obviously wet and slippy on the surface in scrutineering, but you got the measure of the car out on the track. Wasn't too wet and slippy for you out there?
No, it was a lot more slippy in here, obviously. But, yeah, it was quite good.
Yeah, quite good. You got yourself that second place at the opening round at Wilton Mill, and you've done it again here. The gap up to Jacob Ashcroft, just too large to close this time.
Yeah, definitely.
Tell us about how that race played out for you in the earlier stages, though.
So I started like 7th, I think, and worked my way up to 3rd on the opening lap, got into 2nd, then 3rd again, and then Cole spun out coming into the 2nd hairpin. So I was in 2nd. I was with my team manager, Rob Hanscom, was just keep telling me to push.
but me and Cole had a really good battle at the end.
Yeah, you had a really good battle. And something you just said there that's got me thinking, when you can see your team managers and your coaches on the pit wall there and on the fence and they're doing all those hand signals and waving their arms in the air, can you see them? Do you take notice of that kind of thing?
Yeah, you do. It's really important. I mean, you probably won't win a race without them, that they're there to help you. They can see more than you can, so.
So finally in this programme then, our attention turns to Junior Rotax, where at round 1 at Wilton, it was KR Sports' Freddie Ingram who took the win in what was a high-pressured final. With a couple of laps to go, there were 7 drivers still bumper to bumper, with just 1 second over all of them. In the end though, Ingram held on and put daylight between himself and Ollie Stevens in second. And in third, the young man that did a fantastic drive, bringing it up from 19th on the grid with some great defensive driving in the latter stages, was Charlie Green. His nickname is Cheesy on account of his smile. So I asked him earlier on if that smile is still fixed in place after what was a great drive.
My name is Charles Green, racing Junior Max, and I'm number 77. Still amazing to have that smile on my face from Wilton Mill. Great to be here at Larkhall. It's ages away, we've come miles away to come and be at this track, and hopefully we can do the same here. Spinning the cart's fast, the mechanic did an amazing job to make that happen, obviously. It was all going very well, everyone making it all perfect for me, and my head was in the right headspace, so it made it all happen. There's so many quick drivers behind me, like Clark, Russell as well, who were very quick around Wilton Mill. And it was like I had to defend for the last couple of laps. But you know, I feel like my defending was good in those last couple of laps. It was all fair and clean, and we managed somehow to get third.
How's it been going so far? How are you finding it here at Larkhall? It's a circuit you've never driven before.
Yeah, never been here before. We're struggling a little bit with setup and a bit of me, but hopefully by the time we get to the final, we should be back where we should be. I think we can quite easily get top 10 if it all comes together. But we all hope for the win, but I think that might be a little bit out of our reach this weekend.
I'm Ollie Stevens, kart number 81 in Junior Rotax.
Ollie, cast your mind back to that super final. You finished second behind Freddie Ingram. It was a great race to watch from a spectator's point of view. But what was it like from where you were sat?
Yeah, it was really intense. It's really close to winning and everything. Yeah, it's quite an enjoyable track. I haven't been here a whole lot for as well as many riders. Yeah, I'm enjoying it, and this weekend has been going well. Been looking quite quick in practice, and yeah, we'll just have to see how the racing goes.
Well, best of luck to Charlie and Ollie. Let's see how they both get on alongside the rest of the Junior Rotax drivers as we go and join your race commentator, Jake Sanson.
So there's a lot of characters that could well charge their way forward for a great battle out there on the course in the Junior Rotax Super Final. So Archie Clark versus Finn Leslie on the front row. Watch for Freddie Ingram and Gracie Mitchell on the second. This could be a very interesting start to the race as they come off the final turn. Are we racing? Yes, we are. Into the first corner, and it's a perfect start for Archie Clark as the rest of the field tiptoes its way through on the first corner of the first lap. Archie Clark leads the battle, has already got pressure from his teammate Freddie Ingram, as through to third has come Finn Leslie, and fourth is Gracie Mitchell, tiptoeing their way through, trying to get in on the inside of Freddie Ingram. Finn Leslie goes wheel to wheel as Gracie Mitchell gets on the grass. A little bit of dueling there on the run down the straight as the 114 of Jack Hobson tries to edge forward. Now has Gracie Mitchell picked up the pace again after running on the grass? Everybody trying to skate through without drama. But Gracie Mitchell finds herself down in about 7th position as Archie Clark goes wheel to wheel with the race leaders. Battling away, and off the road goes the 53, and there's a spin. It's Whitcomb. Whitcomb has tangled in with Lizzie Mentia. Harrison Whitcomb and Lizzie Mentia collide on the way out of the hairpin, and they have both gone off the road. I think the 53 was in that as well. Deacon Russell losing places. Archie Clark in the lead of the race, but now going wheel to wheel. Hobson and Ingram for second place. Hobson trying to go round the outside, and is it going to be Freddie Ingram that holds second position? It looks like it at the moment. Archie Clark is your leader, then it's Ingram, then it's the 114 of Jack Hobson. Great battling already in the Junior Rotax final as they tiptoe the way through. Hobson trying again on Ingram. Ingram turns in on him, but Hobson comes through, and that's a big moment for Ingram as he gets on the grass. Archie Clark leads the race. Hobson in second place, and up to third position, that is Leon Hasty, trying to get some revenge for what happened in the superheat earlier on when he ended up going off the road with Freddie Ingram. He dives in on Ingram, and it's going to be Ingram that holds the place. Hasty goes around. Leon Hasty spins it, and he's now facing the wrong way. Several drivers trying to take avoiding action. Hopefully nobody's going to hit Hasty's car. but certainly Leon Hastie's chances have gone exactly the same way as they did in the superheat. So problems, and again, ironically, it was Ingram he was battling with then, and it's Ingram he was battling with now, as nearly into the wall. Goodness me, the 221 of Archie Buttle just scraping the barrier on the way out of the final corner. Well, the field has definitely been shuffling around, and now we've got Archie Clark leading the way from Jack Hobson, Finn Leslie behind Freddie Ingram, then Alex Cull in fifth, ahead of Gracie Mitchell and Ollie Stevens. A very tough race continuing on as the drivers continue to mince words on the circuit, having a truly sensational battle, but the number 9 of Archie Clark has lost the lead. Jack Hobson's got through. Jack Hobson has taken the lead here. So Archie Clark is down a second, Jack Hobson in the lead from Archie Clark, and then in third it is Freddie Ingram. Still a long way to go. 11 minutes and 15 seconds remain, plus the additional lap on top. Up the inside line, there goes Leslie, getting the move on Ingram. So Leslie gets into third position in front of Ingram, and then it's Alex Cull, the fastest lap of the race from the race leader, Jack Hobson. No major shocks there. But Ingram tries again to get back on terms with Finn Leslie, with Alex Cull in fifth position. Here comes Cull, trying to get through on the inside of Ingram to go with Finn Leslie. Gracie Mitchell thought she had the gap there as well. But coming off the turn, they're banging wheels. As back on the inside comes Freddie Ingram into fourth position. Alex Cull goes wheel to wheel with Ingram. Tries again. Cull is going to get through. Ingram comes from around the outside. Gets back on the throttle. Tries to skate up the inside of Alex Cull. They're going to be wheel to wheel. And Freddie Ingram has very little racetrack to play with there indeed. So Ingram still swarming around behind Alex Cull. Here comes the move up the inside from Stevens on Gracie Mitchell. Stevens gets through. Gracie Mitchell is still there battling away on the outskirts of the top 6 though. She has every chance to make up time. So Finn Leslie taps his helmet to Cull and Ingram. Let's go together. But here comes Gracie Mitchell. She makes a beautiful move on the inside of Ollie Stevens. Great overtake from Gracie Mitchell. She leaves a little bit of space for Ollie Stevens, but she should hold the inside line of the hairpin. Nicely done. Gracie Mitchell not only gets the move, but finishes it off in style as a big dive from Sander on the inside of Palazzo. Now Stevens goes for Mitchell, but Mitchell is straight back on the switcheroo, and Gracie Mitchell will hold the position again, I do believe. Yes, indeed she does, as off on the curb goes Ollie Stevens. Great recovery drive this from Gracie Mitchell. So the number 30 of Matthew Sayer now behind Mitchell and Stevens. Gracie Mitchell still hanging on by a thread here. But again, the rain has stopped, and this is not good news for anybody because they're on wet tyres, so they need more rain to go through the treads of the tyres to cool the tyres down. If there's no more rain, then those tyres are going to burn to a crisp, especially considering we've got 8.5 minutes of racing still to go. So Ollie Stevens tries again behind Gracie Mitchell, and the number 69 is under investigation. That is Freddie Ingram. So Freddie Ingram is under investigation there. Oh, and Ollie Stevens tries his best to get past Gracie Mitchell, but he makes the mistake, and unfortunately he taps Gracie Mitchell's bumper, and that's put him out of contention for the moment. So Gracie Mitchell trying to get after Freddie Ingram in the hunt for the top 5, but Ingram is currently under investigation, so Gracie Mitchell may be in the top 5 anyway. Here comes the move. Oh, that's gone terribly wrong as Timo Jungling goes for the move on Sayer, and Sayer spins around. So Timo Jungling, I think he got that one a little bit crossed up. So he's going to have a look at that again, I think, and redress the balance later as round the outside comes Palazzo, trying to get his move on Oliver Sander. Palazzo is having a great weekend here at Larkhall. He's getting himself up the order in beautiful style. And Matteo Palazzo is currently running in 11th place, having started 17th. So Matteo Palazzo having a really strong race battle. He now goes wheel to wheel. Again with Sander. Sander dives up the inside. Palazzo goes wide, and past both of them nearly comes Buttle. But Palazzo still working hard here, trying to get himself into the top 10. He's got to be very patient again. So Matteo Palazzo definitely looking good to be a potential driver of the weekend. Definitely putting on a good show here at the Ultimate Karting Championship. And there goes Stevens up the inside of Gracie Mitchell to move up into 8th position. Mitchell has to give best for that moment, but hopefully she's got a chance to fight back. And then Ollie Stevens and Gracie Mitchell. Mitchell back at the inside, gets the place back on Ollie Stevens. Nice move from Gracie Mitchell in the hairpin. Lovely bit of racecraft from the Sam Pollock racing driver. So Jack Hobson, 7.6 clear of Archie Clark in the lead. That looks pretty tidy to me. Finn Leslie in third. Fourth place is Carl, Ingram, Antrobus, Youngling, Mitchell, Stevens and Matteo Palazzo. Palazzo going well in 10th position, trying to move up. As drivers run deep and round the outside. Oh, very close indeed there for Jack Thompson, who almost went into the barriers. Now Gracie Mitchell hanging on here in front of Ollie Stevens. Stevens trying again, but Gracie Mitchell's got good purchase off the throttle. Looking very neat and tidy here. So Gracie Mitchell looks pretty calm and comfortable in 8th position. Trying to close back up to Timo Youngling in 7th place. But she has got pressure from Ollie Stevens. There's no two ways about that. Stevens will try again. As down in the braking zone, Stevens is not close enough to Mitchell to make the overtake, but Matteo Palazzo is gaining ground on both of them. 15 seconds to go, and Jack Hobson is going to go into lap number 15. He does do so as Gracie Mitchell continues to duel away. That's Matteo Palazzo in front of her. So Matteo Palazzo has worked his way past Gracie Mitchell now as Jack Hobson tiptoes his way through with another fastest lap. So Jack Hobson is driving beautifully. Matteo Palazzo up to 9th position now in front of Mitchell, Sander, Russell, Hartley, Hasty, Buttle and Whitcomb. Amazing to see that the drivers who have continued on in this race and still put on a good show. Sadly, it looks like the race is over for Rachel Robinson, the driver who was battling in the top 5 in one of the heats yesterday. A real shame for her. I was very impressed indeed with Rachel Robinson yesterday. But unfortunately, she now finds herself a couple of laps down. In fact, she is still going, but she has now come through about 2 laps behind the rest of the field. But still a very inspiring run from Jack Hobson. Here he is. The final lap has finally come for the Ultimate R driver, and Jack Hobson has just been electric around this circuit. There is the second place man, Archie Clark. That's how far ahead of him he is. You've got to wait for a long time for second place, and we decide not to wait. Because here comes Jack Hobson. What a performance from the Ultimate R driver. This has been a masterclass in the most tricky, greasy and difficult of conditions. And Jack Hobson in the Ultimate R is going to come through for not just a victory, but a dominant run to the flag. What a performance from Jack Hobson. He comes through in fine style. He tiptoes his way through the final corners. And Jack Hobson will take the victory here at Larkhall in dominant fashion. Well done to Jack Hobson. Second place will go the way of Archie Clark in front of Finn Leslie and Alex Cull. Here they come through. Big points on the board for Clark, Leslie and Cull. Freddie Ingram is under investigation, but still comes through in 5th regardless, ahead of Youngling, Antrobus, then Ollie Stevens ahead of Matteo Palazzo, and Ollie Sander ahead of Gracie Mitchell.
Huge congratulations, mate. Watching that race, it was like you were in a class of your own. Those tyres, that engine, it all just linked up.
Yeah, I mean, over the first lap I got a drop down, so it were kind of just got to get consistent, keep getting laps and get a big enough gap to win. I'm not sure if I did it, but I think I did.
You absolutely did. Big enough gap it was. But I mean, a great Sunday's work for you. You took the win in the pre-final. You've taken the win in the super heat and the super final. Everything obviously has gone right today. What do you think has happened this weekend that's made it all just fall into place for you?
I mean, yesterday was a tough day because my car kept bending, but the team worked hard and didn't come in to a hotel till 10 o'clock to get it sorted for today. And 2 wins, I think it were worth it.
Second place, started in pole, but dropped down to second come the checkered flag.
Yeah, Jack was a lot quicker than everybody, and I couldn't keep up with him.
He was a lot quicker than everybody. Started a little bit further back, got himself up at the front, but then, like he said, he had to drop back, and he had to, drop back, and then he had to fight for it. But nonetheless, second place. You had daylight between yourself and the guys that were behind you, so you obviously felt confident this weekend as well.
Yeah, it was good, but I just wished I could keep up with Jack.
Finn, well done to you, mate. Third place, but as the other 2 drivers in 1 and 2 said, it really did seem that, well, as Archie just said, the driver in the number 1 spot, Jack seemed to be in a class of his own this weekend.
Yeah, well, we've struggled a bit in the last, especially in the super heat, finishing 7th, which we went back, we talked about it, but we starting second on the outside. It's always difficult round here because it's into a left-hander. So I dropped back to 3rd. So I had to kind of make my way through, and I was catching Archie maybe a 10.42 each lap, but it just wasn't enough in the end.
Yeah, you did really well, and obviously the conditions were tricky this weekend, so when you do drop back, it's hard to pull up, isn't it? Because I imagine there's a sort of idea that you want to be pushing hard, but at the same time, if you overcook it, it's easy to go off.
Yeah, it's very easy around here because it's quite, like, you think it's a lot slippier than it is, but sometimes you have more grips. It's a bit like you don't know what's going to happen.
Looking ahead to the rest of the season, though, how are you thinking now? So we've 2 rounds down. The next one's Warden Law. What are you thinking ahead of that one?
Well, we at Wilton, we were starting third for the final, but we had an issue on the rolling up lap, which obviously DNF, which put us in 10th in the championship. But this weekend we've had a really strong weekend, just being consistent, getting the points in, and we've made us way back up to 5th. I'm not sure what it's going to be like after the final, but I don't want to drop round, so we're definitely up there in the fight.
Yeah, definitely up there in the fight. What a fight it's going to be. Some great racing for you guys in Junior Rotax, a really fierce class. Who would you like to thank?
Cato Motorsport, KR Racing Engines, all my family for coming to support me this weekend, Cato, Ricky, and my sponsors, Send Safely and Raceway Motorsport.
Listen, well done to you, Finn. Huge congratulations. It was a great race. Thanks for entertaining us, and safe journey home.
Thank you.
Well, that's it for round 2 here at Larkhall in Scotland. Huge congratulations to our 3 class winners. Ryan White, Jacob Ashcroft, and in that last one there, Jack Hobson in the Junior Rotax. One of the most stacked classes, and what a result and what a win for him by some margin. So well done, sir. Next time you join us, it'll be round 3 and we head to the northeast to Warden Law, a great circuit that once again many of these drivers know. And as we look across all of our championship tables now, things are really hotting up. So we'd love it if you could join us there. But for now, from myself, Kev Harris, our commentator Jake Sanson, and all of the team at Larkhall, see ya.